Hare Krishna. Om Gyanatimirandasya Jnanandvanashalakalam Chakshurunam Shri Gurave Namo Vishnudevanaya Vishnukrishnaaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Charani Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschatyadevatarani Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gauramitayam Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna. We will continue our discussion on the perspectives. Every pastime will provide certain strength. So if you hear the pastime and hear about the person who is performing the pastime, then we can gain the strength in it. So now when we are hearing Varahulu, we can also get determined. Very important, many lessons we can learn. One of the thing here we see that everybody takes shelter of who they we want to be permanent in this world, and we are trying to make every permanent settlements. But interestingly, the Bhudevi herself is not permanent. She is drawn. So only permanent shelter is Krishna. Instead of making some permanent houses and everything here, let us take shelter of Varahadevi. So this is the main thing here. People are making so many permanent arrangements. They want to uh, be in a very nice permanent setups. But and they think if I have land, I'm permanent. But unfortunately, that is not actually true. We, we don't have any permanent things here in this world. All are temporary. Even the Bhudevi herself, she was drawn. So what to speak of others? So here we'll see Swayambhu Brahma got a very obedient son, Swayambhu Manu. And Swayambhu Manu asked Brahma, so what should I do? Brahma said, okay, I'm very happy you're such an obedient son. Why don't you create progeny? He said, okay, but where should I keep them? There is no earth. Then Brahma thought for a while. He says, Prayamanam drisham tata atha artha kim anusteya अस्माभिः सर्गयोजितः योजितै यस्याहं हृदयम् आसन् स ईशो विदधातु मे. Brahma thought, while I have been engaged in the process of creation, the earth has been inundated by deluge and has gone down into the depths of the ocean. What can be done by us who are engaged in this matter of creation? It is best to let the Almighty Lord direct us. Now, again, Brahma got a very obedient son, but still there are crises. Now, what is the crisis? Any enjoyment in this world you want to enjoy, Brahma is not enjoying in a gross way. He is getting a very, very subtle enjoyment. If people create, and because of their creation, so many people are benefiting, that gives such a tremendous amount of satisfaction to the ego. And that is the level of happiness they experience. It's very, very high. You cannot imagine. And now, but every pleasure has some payment also. So there will be obstacles. And people think once I settle everything, then I will be very happy. Thing is, nothing settles. And here we see Brahma again into trouble, but he is a devotee. So then what he said? It is best to let the Almighty Lord direct us. The devotee of Prabhupada, the devotee of Lord, for all his confidential servitors, are sometimes perplexed in discharge of their respective duties. But they were never discouraged. They have full faith in the Lord, and he paves the way for the smooth progress of the devotee's duty. This is actually what is happening. And Next shloka says, It abhidhyayato nasa iva avivarat sahasanaga varahat kuto nirahat angushta parimanakaha. O sinless Vidra, all of a sudden, while Brahma was engaged in thinking, a small form of food came out of his nostrils. The measurement of the creature was not more than the upper portion of the thumb. So such a small creature appeared. And Lord, it's a pastime, so Lord can come from anywhere. And it's not actually a very good way to come in a normal. But Brahma is a very great pure personality. It does not matter because body is made of, you say, it's a very subtle body, Brahma. It's not like gross. And human beings have these defects. They'll have everything dirty coming from the bodies, all the holes. But it's not for the demigods and what to speak of the super living entities in Satyalok. They're all very pure souls. They don't have all these bodies with very gross matter. That's why it does not matter. For us, it looks a little odd, right? What is the way to appear from the nose? But it is not, we should not take it like it's very dirty thing. That is, we can consider that way. And tasya vipasyata tatastha kshena kila bharata kshenena kila bharata gajamatra pravriddhe tad adbhutam abhunmahat. Oh, didn't Bharata? While Brahma was observing him, that boar became situated in the sky in a wonderful manifestation as gigantic as a great elephant. So it immediately started expanding itself. Marichi pramukair kumarai munina saha dhritya tatsukaram rupam tarkayamasa chitratha. And it is said that such struck with wonder at observing the wonderful boar-like form in the sky, Brahma, along with his great Brahmanas like Marichi as well as Kumaras and Manu, began to argue in various ways. They want to know what is this form which appeared suddenly, can be anything. And what is their discussion? Kim etat sukara vyagram Sattam divyam avastitam aho vata sacharyam idam nasayam me nishritam. Lord Brahma said, is this some extraordinary entity pretending to be a boar? It is wonderful that he has come from my nose. Brahma created actually many living entities. They came from different parts of the Brahma, from hands, from legs, and so many parts. From the heart, from his contemplation, but nothing came from his nose. So he's a little surprised. Drishton tushta siro matra shana khanda shila sama api svid bhagavan esha yajno mekle hridayam manaha. First of all, this boar was seen to be no bigger than the tip of a thumb. And within a moment, he became as large as a boulder. My mind is perturbed. Is he the personality of God in vision? Now, Prabhupada says that since Brahma is the supermost person in the universe, he has never before experienced such a form. He could guess that the wonderful appearance of a boar was an incarnation of Vishnu. The uncommon features symptomatic of the incarnation of Godhead can bewilder even the mind of Brahma. That means Lord is inconceivable even to Brahma also. That means there are some things in the creation even Brahma can't understand. This is an example. Because Brahma is the supermost person in the universe and he has never experienced. He could guess, so there are some things which Brahma gets confused. And when Lord enters, Brahma is confused. And this is the second time. One is Vak incident, he is bewildered, and Varaha they appear, he is bewildered. Many times he gets bewildered. And in the beginning, when he was born, he was bewildered. It means he is not the supreme. That's the proof. That iti mimya satastasya brahmana sahasunubi Bhagavan yajna purusho jajra gajendra sannidhi. While Brahma was deliberating with his sons, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vishnu, rode tumultuously like a great mountain. Now, here Sukadeva Goswami is telling that is Vishnu. It appears that great hills and mountains also have their roaring power because they are also living entities. The volume of the sound vibrated is in proportion to the size of the material body. While Brahma was guessing about the appearance of Lord's incarnation as a boar, the Lord confirmed Brahma's contemplation by roaring with his gorgeous voice. But maybe the sounds of these mountains and all must be in a very high pitch, which is not accessible to humans, because we can hear from 20,000 hertz, 20 hertz to 20,000 hertz. That is the range humans can hear. We cannot hear which is very soft. We can not hear something which is beyond 20,000 hertz. The sound is not accessible to our ear. When these great hills and mountains or any great things they are roaring, we don't have access for it. We cannot hear, fortunately. Otherwise, it is very scary also. Here, when Brahma said, maybe the Supreme Lord, immediately Lord wrote. It's an indication. Yes. What you are contemplating is correct. Brahmanam harshayam asa haristam stadvijottama swa jagjatena kapubhi pratiswanyata vibhu. The omnipotent Supreme Personality of Godhead enlivened Brahma and other highly elevated Brahmanas by again roaring with his uncommon voice, which echoed in all directions. Prabhupada writing that Brahma and other enlightened Brahmanas who know the Supreme Personality of Godhead are enlivened by the appearance of Lord in any of his multi-incarnations. The appearance of the wonderful and gigantic incarnation of Vishnu as the mountain-like boar did not fill them with any kind of fear. Although the Lord's resounding voice was tumultuous, the echoed horribly in all directions as an open threat to all demons who might challenge his omnipotency. Now, here the point is that it is not scary for a devotee, the Lord's presence in a gigantic form. Of course, Virat Rup was a little scary for Arjuna. But otherwise, if direct form like Varaha, Narsimha, then Prahlad saw Narsimha, Naham Vibheti, Tribhayeti, Naham Vibheti, Ajite, Tribhayanakasya, Jihvagranit, Puguti, Ravasakrutam, Shtantastra, Shata, Jakesha, Rashankarna, Nirhati Bheti Diva, Arabin Nakagri. So Prahlad is saying that I am not afraid. Naham Vibheti. Ajiteti, Tribhayanakasya. Your form is very fearsome. Jihvagra, Nektra, Bhugati, Rabasan. Your teeth, they are having blood. Your all this hair on the face is filled with blood. And you have garland of intestine. And your ears are like sharp. And you have such a very fearsome form. And Prahlad is saying, I am not afraid of it. But Nirha Dibiti Digha Arabin Nakagri. It says that there are, there is elephants, 4 elephants, Gajas they call. They are afraid of the sound which is coming from you. But I am not afraid. They are afraid, I am not afraid because he is a devotee. So here also, Prabhupada, the appearance of the wonderful and gigantic incarnation of Vishnu as a mountain like did not fill them with any kind of fear. So any form of the Lord that appears like in the Matsya Avatara comes future, it is not scary for a devotee. He knows this is Supreme Lord and he enjoys that form of Lord. He gets so much pleasure in seeing the form of Lord in that way. So here also, Brahma was very, and other, they're all very happy with that form. And further it says, Nishamyate Ghritam Swakedam Kish Kashyen Shumaya Sukarasya Janastapasya Nivasanaste Tribu Pravrittair Munayo Gushama. When the great sage residing on Janaloka, Tapaloka, and Satyaloka heard the tumultuous voice of the boar, which was the all auspicious sound of all merciful Lord, they chanted auspicious hymns from the three Vedas. The word Maya is very significant in this verse. Maya means mercy, specific knowledge, and also illusion. Therefore, Lord Brahma is everything. He is merciful, he is all knowledgeable, and he is illusion also. The sound which he vibrates was answered by the Vedic hymns of the great sage on the planets Janaloka, Tapaloka, and Satyaloka. The highest intellectual and pious living entities live on those planets, and when they heard the extraordinary voice of the boar, they could understand that the specific sound was vibrated by the Lord and no one else. Therefore, they replied by praying to the Lord with Vedic hymns. That planet was submerged in the Mare. But on hearing the sound of the Lord, the inhabitants of the higher planets were all jubilant because they know that the Lord was there to deliver the earth. So now they could guess that this is the form Lord took. And then they started and oh, Lord came in this form. That means what must be the purpose? Then they understood, yes, to because almost all the seven planetary systems are down only. Because the Bhumandala is down. Others are who are down. They must also be in the ocean. Vara was to rescue. And they know it is helping. Their plant was submerged. By hearing the sound of the Lord, the inhabitants of earth plants were all jubilant because they know the Lord was there to deliver them. Therefore, Brahma and all sages, such as Bhrigu, Brahma's other sons, the learned Brahmanas, were enlivened and they concertedly joined in praising the Lord with the transcendental vibration of the Vedic hymns. The most important of Kali is the Kali Santaran Upanishad verse Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. This is the and it says Tesham Satam Veda Vitanamurtir Brahma Vadharayatma Gunanuvadam Vindhyabhuyo Vibhuddhodayaya Gajendralilo Jalama Vivesha. Playing like an elephant, he entered into the water after roaring again in reply to the Vedic prayers by great devotees. The Lord is the object of Vedic prayers, and thus he understood that the devotees' prayers were meant for him. The form of Lord in any shape is always transcendental and full of knowledge and mercy. The Lord is the destroyer of all material contamination because his form is personified Vedic knowledge. So this is actually Varaharupa is especially that form. All the Vedas worship the transcendental form of Lord. In the Vedic mantras, the devotees request the Lord to remove the glaring effulgence covered in it because it covers his place. Hiranmayena patrena satyasyapihitam mukha. This verse is from Upanishad. The Lord has no material form. Ashnaviram Shuddham Apapaviddham. But his form is always understood in terms of Vedas. The Vedas are said to be breath of the Lord, and that breath was inhaled by Brahma, the original student of Vedas. The breathing form, the breathing from the nostril of Brahma caused the appearance of Lord Boar, and therefore the boar incarnation of Lord is personified with this. Wow, such a nice point. So, what a logical function is telling? Is telling that the Lord is the destroyer of all metal because his form is personified Vedic knowledge. So, Lord's form is personified Vedic knowledge. Okay. Now, all the Vedas worship transcendental form of Lord. In the Vedic mantras, the devotee is required. Now, here, the Lord has no material form. He is always understood in terms of Vedas. This is the second point. So, first is this is nice purport. Prabhupada gives such nice logic. This is a light here. Lord's form is personified Veda. Vedic knowledge. So this is there. And that form is understood in terms of Vedas. And the Vedas are said to be breath of the Lord. So Vedas are breath of the Lord. Vedas are breath of the Lord. Now, interestingly, what happened? So here you see Vedas are breath of the Lord. And that breath was inhaled by Brahma. Inhaled breath was by Brahma. So now what happened is the original Vedas, the breathing from the nostril of Brahma caused the appearance of Lord Boar. So now he inhaled, now when he exhaled, so the breathing from Brahma's nostril appeared, caused appearance of what? Because he is breathing Vedas. So Vedas should come. So is Varaha. Who is this? Vedas personified. So because he breathed the Vedas, so Vedas are the breath. So Brahma inhaled that breath. So now when he exhaled, then Vedas only came, but they came in the form of Varahadev. That's the logic. And therefore, the boar incarnation of Lord is personified Vedas. So Varahadev is personified Vedas. So you understood how the Vedas appeared. So it is not something odd which is coming. It is directly Vedas coming from the nostrils. Because Brahma inhaled the Vedas, when he exhaled, the Vedas only came, but in the form of Varahadev. The glorification of incarnation of sages on the higher planets consists of factual Vedic hymns. Whenever there is glorification of Lord, it is to be understood that the Vedic mantras are being rightly vibrated. The Lord was therefore pleased when such Vedic mantras were chanted to encourage his pure devotees. He rode once more and entered the water to rescue the submerged. So the Lord was very pleased. So it should be chanted rightly vibrated. Motion. It should be rightly vibrated. So now we will not have any problem. So how the Varahadev coming from Brahma's nostril is not any contamination. Why? Brahma breathed the Vedas and that only Vedas only came back in the form of Varahadev. So this is the personified Vedas. Simple. Akshiptavala kahacharya kato कठोरः सता विधौनं कररोमसः कुराहताभ्रसितधृष्ट ईक्षा ज्योतिर्बभासे भगवान् महीधर. Before entering the water to rescue the earth, Lord Boar flew in the sky, splashing his tail, his hard hair quivering. His very glance was luminous, and he scattered the clouds in the sky with his hooves and his glittering white tusks. When the Lord is offered praise by his devotees, his transcendental activities were described. There are some of the transcendental features of Lord Boar. As the residents of upper planetary systems offered their prayers to the Lord, it is understood that his body expanded throughout the sky, beginning from the topmost planet Brahmaloka or Satyaloka. It is stated in the Brahma Samhita that his eyes were the sun and moon. Therefore, his very glance over the sky was as illuminating as the sun or the moon. The Lord is described herein as Mahidara, which means either a big mountain or the sustainer of it. In other words, the Lord's body was as big and hard as the Himalayan mountain. Otherwise, how was it possible that he kept the entire earth on the support of his white tusks? The poet Jayadev, a great devotee of Lord, has sung the incident in his prayers for the incarnation. Vishati dashana shikare dharani tabalagna shashini kalanka kaleni manimagna keshavadrita shukara rupa jaya jagadisha hare. All glories to Lord Keshava, Krishna, who appeared as a boar incarnation. The earth was held between his tusks, which appears like the scars on the moon. Now, why Jaydev Goswami such great authorities are quoted? Because they don't write just like that. They see the past time and write. That's why their authority is very much taken. Here, Varahadev, he's behaving like Varaha only. Means in the Supreme Lord, he could have behaved, but as a normal person, no. He's took that form and he want to enjoy that form. घ्राणेन घ्राणेन पृथिव्या पदवीं विजग्रन् क्रोधापदेश स्वयम् अद्य करालदंष्ट्रोऽपि करालगर्भ्याम् उद्वीक्ष विप्रान् गृणीतो विष्टकमा. He was personally the Supreme Lord Vishnu and was therefore transcendental. And because he had the body of a hog, he scratched after the earth by smell. His tusks were fearful, and his glance over the devotee Brahmanas engaged in offering prayers. Thus he entered the water. That's why whenever we make Yajna Kunda, we want to get the mud that is from the hoofs. The wild boar, when it digs the earth with its tusks, that mud is the most sacred. There are two muds. One is the ant hill's mud and this mud. Both are considered very sacred. So here we see Lord also did the same thing. He scratched after that by smell. This is what he is doing. We should always remember that although the body of a hog is material, the hog form of Lord was not materially contaminated. It is not possible for an ordinary hog to assume a gigantic form spreading throughout the sky, beginning from Satyaloka. His body is always transcendental to all circumstances. Therefore, the assumption of form of a boar is only his pastime. His body is all Vedas, or transcendental. But since he has assumed the form of a boar, he began to scratch out the earth by smelling like a hog. The Lord was perfect. Lord can perfectly play the part of any living entity. The gigantic feature of boar was certainly very fearful for all non-devotees, but to the pure devotee of the Lord, he was not at all fearful. On the contrary, he was so pleasingly glancing upon his devotees that all of them felt transcendental happiness. This is Lord is so pleasing only in any form he is there because he's transcendental. Anything transcendental is very soothing to the soul. The holy name, the prasadam, the deity forms, any form. It is always because the soul will be connected. If it is matter, it does not give that type of bliss. Savaraja Kutanga Nipata Vega Rishi Vishni Puksha Stanayan Udhanya Utsasya Dirko Nivraja Brujair Ivartas Chaksho Chukshor Yajeshwara Pahimeti. Diving into the water like a gigantic mountain, Lord Boar divided the middle of the ocean, and two huge waves appeared as the arms of the ocean, which cried loudly as if praying to the Lord. O Lord of all sacrifices, please do not cut me into, kindly give me protection. So when Lord jumped into the ocean, it was bifurcated. So, but even the great ocean was perturbed with the falling of a mountain-like body of the transcendental boar, and it appears to be frightening as if death was imminent. Kuraiksuru, Kuraikshuraktair, Dharayam Stadapa, Utparaparam, Tripuru, Tripurishayam, Adarshagam Tatra Suragre, Yam Jivadhanan Swayam Abhyadatta. Lord Thor penetrated the water with his hooves, which were like sharp arrows, and found the limits of the ocean, although it was unlimited. He saw the resting place of all living beings, lying as it was in the beginning of creation, and he personally lifted it. This is what uh, Varahadev did. So this is the pastime he want to enjoy. That's why he is performing it, and we should also accept it the way it is. Prabhupada writing the word Rasayam is sometimes interpreted as to mean Rasatala, the lowest planetary system. But it is not applicable in this connection according to Vishnu Chakra Thakur. The earth is 7 times superior to lower planet systems, namely Talatala, Tala, Atala, Talatala, Vitala, Rasatala, Patala, etc. Therefore, earth cannot be situated in Rasatala planet system. It is described in the Vishnu Dharma. Therefore, the Lord found the earth on the bottom of Garbhodak ocean, where the planet rests during the devastation at the end of Brahma's day. This is Prabhupada's commentary on it. And we'll see, next sloka says, Swadham Shtrayo Dhritya Mahim Nimagna Sa Uttita Sam Ruchi Ruche Rasaya Tatrapi Daityam Gadaya Patantam Sunabda Sandipita Tivra Manyo. The boar very easily took the earth on his tusks and got it out of the water. Thus he appeared very splendid. Then his angry, glowing like the Sudarshan wheel, immediately killed the demon Hiranyakashipu, although the demon tried to fight with the Lord. Now this is another pastime that is described here. So Maitreya was in different ecstasy. So Prabhupada writes, according to Srila Jiva Goswami, the Vedic literature is describing the incarnation of Varaha boar in 2 different devastations, namely Chakshasha devastation, Swayambhu devastation. This particular appearance of the boar incarnation actually took place in Swayambhu devastation when all planets other than the higher ones, Jana, Mahar, and Satya, merged in the water of devastation. This particular incarnation of boar was seen by the inhabitants of the planets meant for the Gokul. Vishwanath Chakra Thakur suggests that the sage Maitreya amalgamated both the boar incarnation different devastations, summarized them in his descriptions to Vidura. So Maitreya just taking both of them and explaining here. And that we have heard also in Vishwanath Chakra Thakur's commentary. Jaganarundanamassa asahya vikramam शलीलेभ्यं मृगरात् इवाम्बसि तद्रक्तपङ्कांशितगन्धतुब्धो तुण्डो यथा गजेन्द्रो जगति विभिन्ना. Thereupon, Lord Boar killed the demon within the water just as a lion kills an elephant. The cheeks and tongue of the Lord become smeared with blood of the demon, just as an elephant becomes reddish from dipping in the purple earth, digging in the purple earth. So this is the comparison. Now, for Lord, he is enjoying killing also. You must say it's so ghastly, but Lord also have eras. The tendency for living entities to fight is actually coming from the Lord only. Because Lord has the desire, a living entity has a desire. But our desire is mundane, Lord's desire is transcendental. So if Lord kills anybody, it is auspicious for them. It is benefiting them, purifying them, and they will get liberated. Or at least if Krishna is they liberated, if other forms of guilt, they will be elevated. If they are in one level of consciousness, they will be in a higher level of consciousness because they were personally killed by the form of Lord. So they are benefiting only. In that way, Lord is not envious of anyone. He is benefiting that living entity. Otherwise, there is no hope for that living entity. But fortunately, he got in touch with the Lord. Anybody in touch with Lord is auspicious only for them. Even if it is in a demonic mentality, in a negative way also, still he will get benefited because that's why he's called all auspicious. No matter how you approach him, he will always remain auspicious. That is the advantage. So here, when Lord is killing, he is not envious, he is not partial, he is neutral, he is very compassionate. Tamala Neelam Sitadantapotya Kasma Utikshipantam Jag Gajali Layanga Rajanyabaddanjalayo Nuva Kair Virinchi Mukya Upatashturisham. When then the Lord, playing like an elephant, suspended the earth on the edge of his carved white tusks. He assumed a bluish complexion like that of a tamal tree, and thus the sage headed by Brahma would understand him to be the supreme personality of Godhead and offered respectful obeisance unto the Lord. Now, this is from the second question. So this is the when he explained both, he combined both past tense, then he explained how the great sages are offering prayers. So this is very important. When we read Bhagavatam, Srutena Arthena Cha Anjasa. Srutena Arthena means one is by the prayers, another is from the stories. The glorification of Lord is done in this way. And prayers, it looks very long and it is bombastic, sometimes superfluous and all these things. But we should know that they are going to help us understand the heart of the persons who are offering prayers. And every prayer has certain purpose. Here, if you see this type of prayer for this pastime, very much matching. When Bhishma is offering prayers, he is offering prayers in the last part of his life where he is living and he is meditating on the form of Lord. When Kunti is offering, she went through so much calamities. She went through so much calamities and then she came out of it. And then she is offering prayer. So it has a different meaning. And also, then there are other prayers like Brahma. Brahma, every canto, Brahma will have some prayers. But according to the context, there will be prayers, different prayers. Like if you see, Prahlad is praying. Prahlad went through so much torture from his father, and after that, Lord appeared exclusively for him. And then we'll see what type of prayers Prahlad is doing. Dhruva offer prayers, and here we see the Rishis are offering prayers. And if you see, the connection will be very related to the pastime only. Means they want this type of prayers. We'll see what they are offering prayers. Rishiruvacha jitam jitam te jita yajna bhavana triyam tanum swam paridonvate namaha तत्रोम कृष्टेषु निलिल्युरदत्यस् तस्मै नमः कारणशूकरायते. This is a very nice prayer for Varahadev. This is all the sages utter with great respect. O unconquerable enjoyer of all sacrifices. So this is what the form of Varaha is. He is a personification of sacrifice. Yajna Purusha. He is Yajna. That form of Varahadev, very important form. All glories and all victories unto you. You are moving in your form as personified Vedas, and in the hair holes of your body, the oceans are submerged. For certain reasons to uplift that, you have now assumed the form of a boar. This is now their prayer. So, what they are praying, because that is a form of Yajna. Yes, rescued earth, but he is coming in this form, Vedas. Why direct Vedas? We have discussed also that Brahma breathed the Vedas, and when he exhaled, the Vedas only came. So that's why they are telling Vedas. And what Vedas are telling? Vedas are recommending sacrifices. So this is the form of Varaha. The Lord can assume any form he likes, and in all incarnations, he is the cause of all causes. Since his form is transcendental, he is always the supreme personality of Godhead, as he is the causal ocean in the form of Mahavishnu. Innumerable universes are generated from the holes of his bodily hairs, and thus his transcendental body is Vedas personified. He is the enjoyer of all sacrifices. So here, innumerable universes are generated from the holes of his bodily hairs, and his transcendental body is Vedas personified. Any form of Lord which appears. But here, especially Varahadev, because he's directly showing that Brahma inhaled and when he exhaled, my form came. He is enjoyer of all sacrifices, Bhoktaram Yajnatapasam, and he is the unconquerable supreme personality of Godhead. He is never to be misunderstood as someone other than the Supreme Lord because of his assuming the form of a boar to uplift. So even if he comes in a form of a boar, he is Supreme Lord only. That is the clear understanding of sages, the great personalities like Brahma and other residents of higher planetary systems. So anywhere he is always Supreme Lord. That's all. He can be any form. That is his will, and he can come and perform pastimes like that. Rupam Tvaitan Nanutushkritatmana Durdarshanam Devayad Adya Advariraptamukyam Chandamsi Yasyo Vachabhra Romasya Agnyam Dishastava Agnihrushu Charuhotram. O Lord, your form is worshipable by performance of sacrifice. Now, if sages are doing, their purpose is very clear. They are talking about Vedas and sacrifices, and because that is the form of love. Now, how we know that is form? By the sages' prayers only. So, by their prayers, it is become more clear that this form of Lord is for sacrifices. That's why, and they are offering prayers also like that. Your form is worshipable by performance of sacrifice, but souls who are simply miscreants are unable to see it. All the Vedic hymns, Gayatri, and others are in the touch of your skin. In your body, bodily hair is the kusha grass. In your eyes is the clarified butter. And the four legs are the four kinds of fruitive activities. So you see, the all the Vedic hymns are in the touch of your skin. So we'll see what is the form of Varahadev. So according to this purpose. So the form is very nice. The Vedic hymns and Gayatri. So this is what? Touch of skin. Of Varahadev. And then Kushagras. This is very important part. First is we have to chant the Vedas. Then you need Kushagras. This is very important for performing sacrifices. So for performance of sacrifice, so Vedic hymns is his skin, Kushagras is his hair, and then we need clarified butter. So clarified butter. What is clarified butter? Is ice. And the last one, the four legs, are four kinds of fruitive activities. Dharmartha Kamoksha. So this is the form of Varahadev. So there is a class of miscreants who are known in the words of Bhagavad Gita as Vedavadarata, are so-called strict followers of Vedas. They do not believe in the incarnation of Lord. What to speak of Lord's incarnation of worshipable form? They describe worship of different form or incarnation of Lord as anthropomorphism or zoomorphism. In the estimation of Srimad Bhagavatam, these men are miscreants, and in the Bhagavad Gita, they are also called not only miscreants but also foolish and the lowest of mankind. It is said that their knowledge has been plundered by illusion due to their atheistic temperament. For such condemned persons, the Lord's incarnation as gigantic hog is invisible. These strict followers of Vedic Vedas, who despite the eternal form of Lord, may know from Srimad Bhagavatam that such incarnations are personified forms of Vedas. Lord Bo's skin, his eyes, his bodily hairs, holes are all described here as different parts of the Vedas. He is therefore the personified form of Vedic hymns, especially Gayatri Mantra. So the form of Lord, if we want to understand, because Lord's form is transcendental. Lord's form is transcendental. But now to understand this transcendental form, we can understand, okay, it's transcendental form, the touch of his skin is Vedic hymn, the hair is the kushagra, the clarified, but his eyes, like that. That is a form. It's not some imaginary thing. It's a proper. And that's why Prabhupada is so heavy in the purport. He says this all people have poor fund of knowledge. But Lord is having very, very special form to attract the living entities. Kritunda asit Shruva Isha Nyashayor Adotracham Shakarana Randare Prashitam Asya Grashanena Grathastute Yacharvanam Te Bhagavan Agnihotram. O Lord, your tongue is a plate of sacrifice. Your nostrils are another plate of sacrifice. In your belly is the eating plate of sacrifice, and your ear holes are another plate of sacrifice. In your mouth is the Brahma plate of sacrifice. Your throat is a place of sacrifice known as Som. And whatever you chew is known as Agnihotra. Now, this is another form, means the continuation of the form of Lord is described. So the sages They are seeing the Lord in this form. They are seeing Him as a person, but along with the person, when they are doing any of these activities, they are immediately able to remember Varaha Devanti. When they see plate of sacrifice, then they remember the tongue of Lord. If they see any plate of sacrifice, tongue. When they see and there is nostrils and tongue both, and eating plate of sacrifice is belly, and also ear holes. He says Brahma's plate of sacrifice is Lord's mouth, and sacrifice known as soma, throat of, like your throat is the sacrifice for soma. But this is all, whatever you chew is Agnihotra. So when they see Agnihotra, they understand that Lord is chewing what we are offering. This is how they meditate. So they are revealing their meditation. And this is how the person is performing sacrifices. They should also meditate like this. And Prabhupada read, the Vedavada Ratha say that there is nothing more than the Vedas and the personified performances of sacrifice mentioned in the Vedas. Yes, that means they are Vedavada Rathas. Kamatmanam Sargaparam Janmalava Falaprada Kriya Vishesha Bhalam Hogeshwara Gatimpati. This is all what this Vedavada does. They think that there is nothing extrovert. Just enjoy. No, Nanyat Shivadina. Let's just enjoy. That's all. They have recently made a rule in their group to formally observe daily sacrifice. They simply ignite a small fire and offer something whimsically, but they do not strictly follow the sacrificial rules and regulations mentioned in the Vedas. It is understood that by regulation, there are different rates of sacrifice required, such as Sarka, Surya, Brahatscha, Truhotra, Idya, Chamasha, Prishithai, Graha, and Agnihotra. One cannot achieve the results of sacrifice unless one observes the strict regulations. This is the problem. Many people are doing now Narsinga Chaturdasi happened. So many people do Narsimha yajnas. But Prabhupada is very clear. One cannot achieve the results of sacrifice unless one strictly observes the strict regulations. In this age, there is practically no facility to performing sacrifice in strict discipline. This is Prabhupada's opinion. Very, very clear. He's telling not possible only. Therefore, in Kali Yuga, there is a structure regarding such sacrifice. It is explicitly directed that one should perform Sankirtana Jnana, nothing more. That's all. In Kali Yuga, only one Yajna, Sankirtana Jnana. No other Yajnas. If you are doing means you don't have faith in you don't have faith in Prabhupada. The incarnation of the Supreme Lord is Yajneshwara, and unless one has respect for the incarnation of Lord, one cannot perfectly perform sacrifice. In other words, taking shelter of the Lord and rendering service unto Him is the factual performance of all sacrifice. As explained here, different plates of sacrifice corresponding to different parts of the body of the Lord's incarnation. In the Srimad Bhagavatam 11th canto, it is explicitly directed that one should perform Sankirtan Yajna to place the Lord's incarnation as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. This should be rigidly followed in order to achieve the results of Yajna performance. Okay, thank you very much. We'll continue tomorrow. Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai.